Picture this. You're booking a Vegas trip, and you find it. A room on the Strip for $29 a night. $29! You feel like you just beat the house before you even got there. You did not. Because that $29 room comes with a resort fee that's almost $50 a night, more than the room itself. And that's before a single tax, before parking, before you've bought one bottle of water that's somehow going to cost you 12. The part nobody tells first-timers is simple. In Vegas, the room is the cheap part. It's everything around the room that gets you. So let's talk about what a Vegas trip actually costs in 2026. The real number, not the one on the booking site. And more importantly, all the little ways the Strip quietly reaches into your pocket and exactly how to stop it. Because a lot of this you can dodge completely if you know where the traps are. Most people don't. By the end of this, you will.
Start with the one that makes everybody mad, the resort fee. It's a mandatory charge tacked on to every single night, on top of your room rate, and you cannot opt out of it. On the Strip in 2026, it runs from about $45 a night up to $55 at the fancy places. So that $29 room, with the fee, you're really paying $75, $80 before tax. And the fee is the bigger half of your own room bill. And here's what actually sets people off. Ask what that $50 buys you. And the answer is Wi-Fi, the gym, the pool, and local phone calls. That's it. The Wi-Fi that's free at a Motel 6. A gym you are not going to use on a Vegas trip. A pool that's included literally everywhere else on Earth. You're paying $50 a night for nothing you asked for, and mostly things you'll never touch. It isn't a service. It's a way to advertise a cheap room and collect the rest at the front desk. So can you avoid it? Mostly no. Almost every Strip resort charges one. But the amount varies, and there's one exception worth knowing. Casino Royale, sitting right in the middle of the Strip, charges no resort fee at all. Zero. The budget spots like Circus and the off-Strip locals casinos run lower fees than the big high-end places. And one real way out? Earn even mid-level status with a casino's players club, and they'll often waive the fee completely. Here's the kicker that really gets people though. Even when the casino comps your room, gives it to you for free, you usually still pay the resort fee. Free room, $50 charge. That tells you exactly how little it has to do with anything you actually use. If the resort fee makes you mad, and it should, that's your move. Pick a place that charges less of it or none.
Then there's parking, which used to be free in this town, and mostly isn't anymore. If you're driving or renting a car, the big resorts will charge you to park. Figure around $20 a day to self-park at the MGM and Caesars properties, and $40, even $50 if you valet. Stack that on the resort fee, and you're paying to sleep and paying to leave your car before you've done a single thing. But this one you can beat completely, because not everybody charges. A handful of spots still let you park for free. Sahara, up at the north end, is free to self-park and even free to valet. Circus is free for everyone. Treasure Island, right in the middle of the action, is free. And that same Casino Royale with no resort fee, free parking too. There's also a trick locals use, the malls. Fashion Show Mall and the shops at Crystals let anybody park free, and you walk right out onto the Strip. And if you've got Nevada plates or a Nevada ID, almost every resort gives you a few free hours on top. Bottom line, if you're driving, you never have to pay a parking fee in this city, if you don't want to. You just have to know the handful of places that haven't joined the cash grab. Okay, you've got the room, you've got the fee, you've parked. Now you're actually in the building. And this is where Vegas really goes for your wallet. The everyday stuff. You wake up, you want a coffee. At the Starbucks inside the casino, that coffee can run you $12. And that's the cheap version of the morning. Sit down for a real breakfast on the Strip, and two people can clear $50, $60 before you've even tipped. You're thirsty, so you grab the bottle of water sitting on the desk in your room, the one that looks free. It is not. People have scanned the little code next to it and found that the water is 18, 24, even $26. A single bottle. At the Aria, somebody got charged 26 bucks for one bottle of water. A can of Coke on that same menu was almost 14. And it isn't just one hotel. Over at Park MGM, people have found $18 Fiji water sitting right there on the counter. And this isn't me exaggerating for a video. It got so bad that the head of MGM, the company that owns half the strip, went on an earnings call and admitted it. His words, "You can't have a $29 room and a $12 coffee. Shame on us," he said. And the minibar is worse because it's a trap. At some resorts, those bottles sit on a sensor. Pick one up just to make room for your own stuff, set it back down, and you've been charged. At Mandalay Bay, simply using the minibar fridge can tack $50 onto your bill. So the snacks and drinks in your room aren't a convenience. They're a tripwire. Assume everything in that room costs money until you've proven otherwise, because in Vegas, it usually does. So here's the move. The one locals and anybody who's been burned already know. Before you ever set foot in your room, you stop at a drugstore. There are Walgreens all up and down the strip, around 7 of them, open 24 hours, plus CVS and the ABC stores tucked into the malls and next to the big hotels. They're right there. You can walk to one from almost any resort in a few minutes. And inside, a bottle of water is about $1. Not 12, not 26, $1. A case of water, a few sodas, your coffee for the morning, snacks, sunscreen, whatever painkillers tomorrow is going to require. You can stock the entire trip for what one minibar water would have cost you. Throw it in the room fridge or just a bag in the corner, and you've killed the single easiest way this city nickels and dimes you. And the tap water in Vegas is perfectly fine to drink, for the record. But most people want something cold, and a $1.50 bottle does exactly the job the $26 one was pretending to. People who do this save real money, not a couple of bucks, but $100 or more over a long weekend for a group. It's the simplest, highest return thing you can do in this town, and it takes 15 minutes. The hotels are betting you're too tired or too lazy to walk across the street. Prove them wrong on day one, and the whole trip gets cheaper. So what does a Vegas trip actually cost? Take that $29 room. Add the resort fee, and you're near $80 a night. Add the tax, Clark County puts about 13% on both the room and the fee, and parking if you drive, and that $29 headline is realistically $100+ a night just to have a bed. Then food, drinks, a show, and whatever you donate to the tables on top. Run the real math on a 4-night trip, and that $29 room quietly becomes $400 to $500 just for the room, the fees, the tax, and parking, before you've had any actual fun. None of it is really hidden. It's just spread across a dozen little charges that count on you not adding them up until you're at checkout with your stomach in your shoes. The average visitor now spends around $1,300 on a single Vegas trip, more than 50% higher than before the pandemic. And most of that climb isn't the gambling. It's the room, the fees, the parking, and the $18 water. But here's the honest truth. Vegas can still be a great deal. The people who get crushed are the ones who pay every fee, drink the $26 water, valet at the priciest resort, and book the worst possible weekend. The people who have a blast on a budget pick a hotel with a lower resort fee, park for free, hit the drugstore on day one, and go when the city isn't slammed. Same town, wildly different bill. Now that you know where the traps are, you get to decide which trip is yours. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.